Okay, so we've got this this really fascinating snapshot you found.
Yeah.
This log from what looks like a marketplace.
Right, like a real-time
A real-time, yeah.
log. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It's really cool, yeah. And we're gonna dive into this to try to figure out what is going on.
Well, it's like a little micro-history playing out, right?
Yeah, totally.
In these few exchanges. And you know what I think is really cool is that we can use this to learn about the world that these people live in.
Yeah, totally. So let's just jump right in.
Yeah, let's do it.
So the main action here seems to be between these two women, Greta and Gerda Hahn.
The Hahn sisters, right?
Yeah, they seem to be in the rat-catching business.
These look like it.
And then there's this guy, Hannes Trigg, who also wants to be the rat catcher.
Right, claims to be.
Claims to be, yeah.
Rat catcher.
And so it kicks off with Greta, and Greta just like really annoyed about all this mess.
Yeah.
And they're just, going on and on about their work ethic.
Right, and then Hannes comes in and immediately dismisses it.
She says it's not real work.
Yeah, exactly. And questions whether they've caught any rats at all.
Yeah, and it feels like there's some professional jealousy there.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's also like a power play,
Yeah.
He's trying to provoke a reaction.
Yeah, why do you think he takes that approach right off the bat?
Well, I mean, maybe it's just how things work in this world,
Yeah.
You got to kind of assert yourself right away or you get walked all over.
Yeah, and Greta doesn't waste any time. She comes right back at him.
Oh, yeah.
With this boast about catching 7 rats with one swing of her broom.
7 rats?
That's a lot of rats.
Like, how is that even possible?
Right.
That's got to be an exaggeration.
Yeah.
But it's like she's putting on a show.
Yeah.
Like this is how good I am.
Yeah.
Don't mess with me.
And then Hannes ups the ante even more by saying that he's dealt with more men than they've dealt with rats. It's like taking it to a whole other level.
Totally. It's like a veiled threat almost.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not just a rat catcher. I'm dangerous.
Yeah. And then it leads to all these accusations about poisoning.
Right.
Which is interesting because it tells us that there's already this, distrust in this community.
Yeah. Definitely, they're already suspicious of each other.
Yeah. And then things really escalate with threats, and Gerda even, brandishes her broom.
Oh, yeah. She's ready to fight.
Yeah.
It's getting intense.
But then we also get these little glimpses of how other people are reacting.
Right, like Kirsten Rant.
Yeah, she mentioned seeing these huge female rats.
Huge female rats.
So clearly this is not a small problem.
No, it sounds like a serious infestation.
Yeah, and then you've got Blue Moon Sweet Train, who's making jokes about the whole thing.
Yeah, trying to lighten the mood.
Yeah, maybe that's just how they deal with conflict.
Right, maybe it's just everyday life there.
And then there's Edward Leonard.
Yeah, he's an interesting one.
First he suggests that they all team up.
Right? Why don't you just work together?
And then he compares it to the theater.
Yeah, he's just enjoying the show.
Yeah.
This is entertainment for him.
Totally. But then things take a turn when Hannes throws these eggs.
Oh, yeah, that's when things get real.
That belong to Colosamandit and Celoemanio.
Right, and suddenly it's not just about words anymore.
Yeah, now there's actual damage.
And that's when Anna Karlberg steps in.
Right, the Kommandantin.
Yeah, that title tells us she's got some authority.
Yeah, it's like she's the local leader or something.
Right, and the focus shifts from rat catching to these broken eggs.
Yeah, it's like damaging someone's property is a much bigger deal.
Right, it's like a violation of their livelihood.
So Anna demands that Hans pay for the eggs.
1 silverling for 4 eggs.
Which seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah, that's a pretty good price, actually.
But Greta and Gerda are still going at him.
Oh, yeah, they're not letting him off easy.
They want to see the rats he's caught.
Right, they're still trying to expose him as a fraud.
And they threaten to call the watch.
They're not messing around.
And Hans tries to say that he would have caught plenty of rats.
Yeah, if they hadn't interfered.
But Anna's not buying it.
Nope.
She sides with Greta and Gerda, and when Hans says he hasn't been paid yet, she suggests taking his boots as collateral.
His boots.
Which is pretty harsh.
Yeah, but it's like their version of justice.
Yeah, they don't have a formal legal system, so they have to figure it out themselves.
Right, it's very community-based.
And Greta and Gerda are totally on board with this.
Oh, they're loving it.
They even threaten to drown him in the harbor.
Whoa, that escalated quickly.
Yeah. They're not messing around.
So not surprisingly, Hans makes a run for it.
Yeah, he gets out of there fast.
But the story doesn't end there.
No, because as soon as he's gone, Greta and Gerda go right back to rat catching.
Yeah, they're back to work.
And Greta starts collecting the rats under her skirt.
Under her skirt.
That's a pretty wild image.
Yeah, it's like something out of a fairy tale.
Yeah.
But it's also like a statement, Like, we're the real rat catchers.
So what are the key things you're taking away from this little encounter?
Well, for me, it's just this amazing glimpse into this community.
Yeah.
You know, they got this problem with rats.
Right.
But they're also dealing with all this competition and suspicion.
Yeah, and they have their own way of dealing with justice.
Right, it's all very informal.
And Greta and Gerda are just like these forces of nature.
Oh yeah, they're not afraid of anything.
Well, Hannah's all talk.
Yeah, he couldn't back it up.
And then there are all these other people like Kirsten and Blue Moon and Edward.
Right, they all add to the richness of the scene.
Yeah, they give us a real sense of this place.
And don't forget those giant female rats.
Yeah, the Riesentrottenweibchen.
That tells us this is a serious infestation.
Right. And I also find it interesting that everyone's so much more upset about the eggs than they are about the threats.
Yeah, what does that tell us about their priorities?
Right, like maybe property rights are more important than anything else.
It's fascinating to think about.
And then there's Greta collecting the rats under her skirt.
Yeah, it's so strange.
It makes you wonder about the stories and traditions of this community.
Right, like what other weird customs do they have?
It also makes you think about how trust and credibility work in a place like this.
Yeah. How do you prove yourself?
And what happens if you can't?
Especially when there's no one to enforce the rules.
Right. It's all up to the community.
It's a completely different way of life.
Yeah, it really makes you think.
Definitely food for thought.
Yeah. Thanks for diving into this with me.
Oh, anytime. This was fun.
Until next time.
Yeah, see you then.
Bye.